to ask away, interrupt at any point. And I will say I apologize if my child runs in. He has hand, foot, and mouth, so he is home with me this week. So I do, like, if you see me moving around, it's because he ran in. So, perfect.
All right. Okay, fantastic. Maybe can you hear me okay? If somebody let me know if you can't, and then maybe Arissa, you can check and see. I believe it's showing up somewhere over there. Let us know how it's going. But definitely in here is our priority, and we want to get through things here. So I'm going to go ahead and get started, and I'm going to talk about a few books, some of my favorite books, and then I'm going to dive into the process of how we write the books and why, because I think that that'll be most helpful. And then we will absolutely open it up at the end for questions and shares and introductions. It'll be super laid back. I am going to make co-hosts so that they can let people in. There we go.
Perfect.
All right, there we go. Okay, fantastic. So why do we write a book? I think the best reason that we can find is to look at other books and see why people wrote them. So like if you could see this, you would see I have stacks of books here, and I want to show you why people write books. Let's see. One of my favorite, Big Money Energy,
Yeah.
right? What is he? A realtor. Is this about buying real estate? Nope. Let's see. I'm gonna try to pin me while I'm speaking. Can you pin me maybe, Ashley? Yep. So this is why otherwise you're pinned right now. This is one reason we can write a book, right? And one way we can write a book. It's not about real estate, but this guy is amazing. And he has been able to write this book and get a huge following from it and absolutely increase his real estate business. So this guy is a marketing genius, and I've just got to give you a little bit out of the book and then we'll move on. He is big into jump into it and figure it out when you get there. So he was on a live TV show, right? And so they were coming to set up this live TV show, and they're like, we need you to have this many millions of dollars of houses ready to show that day so we can do this. He's like, great, no problem. Uh-huh. Yeah, he had nothing, right? So he had to jump in and try to build an amazing day. And it talks about how he negotiated that and how he ended up getting a deal out of it. And it was fantastic. So that's a great example of a great book. Here's a financial book. Tom Hagman, everybody knows him, right? And I should share what we're really looking at here too is like he's building real estate from this book, right? And it's called Big Money Happy. It's just about motivation. This guy, big financial guy. Everybody knows Tom Hagman. He does annuity stuff. He does coaching. He does speaking, right? So his biggest gig is speaking. This book absolutely gets him speaking gigs. So he was a major financial advisor. I'll say he retired. I don't know if that's the word he would use. And now he travels around the nation and speaking, but his book got him on the stages and got him there. Everybody knows this guy, right? He's wrote books. Does he need to write books? No, but it's good for his business. And then I'll show you one last one. This is a really, really good selling book, one word. This has built a movement, an absolute movement. I read this every year and I pick a word, and anybody that's in my business with me also reads it. And I give them a copy. Oh, this is the one that doesn't have my words in it. If you find my right one, it's got my words in it. And so one word, your book does not have to be crazy long. Like it doesn't have to be really huge. It doesn't have to be really in depth. You don't have to be spilling your guts of some massive story happening in your life. It can be as simple as one word, one word. And this book became a movement, became coaching, became like things people wear. It became going into corporations and teaching people one word. So this opened a movement. They didn't have their offer. They wrote the book and created their offer. So that was interesting. It doesn't always happen in that way. So I wanted to kind of plant some seeds there, and my books are behind me. So obviously my books helped me amazingly well in my financial industry. And that's why I did it twice. And so today, what I'm going to dive into is how people think we should go through this process and how we really do. And I'm hoping you can at least see this. Oh, yes, we're fine. Okay. And everybody's so laid back on here, y'all will be good. All right, so when we think of writing a book, we think it goes like this. We think we're gonna write. We'll write for a really long time. Like we're gonna lock ourselves up in a lake home somewhere, right? Like that's what always happens on the Hallmark Channel. And we're gonna be there for months, and our publisher's gonna be calling and saying, "When's that book getting done?" And we're gonna have all this stuff happen to us, and then we're gonna have writer's block, and we're not gonna get it written, right? But that's what we think. We think we're gonna stop life to write. So this is not it, but this is what we think. And then we think we're gonna launch, right? Then we're gonna launch it. We're gonna get it out there. We're gonna maybe do some book signings. We're gonna launch it. And then we're gonna hope that we profit. Man, we hope we make money. And we know that we are selling a book for maybe 20 bucks, right? And if you have, depending, you'll make between 70% and 30% of that 20 bucks. And you're gonna have to sell a lot of books to make much money. So this is not what we do. This is not the order. The order that we take is we launch first. What, Heather? We launch first? Yes, we launch first. So what we do is we let people know that we are writing a book. I am writing a book. I am considering writing a book. I'm going to write a book. And we start a page, a group page, cheering to let people come cheer us on and to celebrate whatever we are writing on. And so first we launch, we let people know that we are going to have this opportunity. When I launched my very first book, I interviewed 100 farm wives. Perfect ideal client in my financial practice, 100 farm wives. Do you think I got business from that? Sure, I did. Was I seeking that? I was seeking information to be better at what I was doing. But if somebody needed my help, I was there, right? I was connecting with the ideal clients. So we haven't tried, the pin didn't work. Can you not pin?
My toolbar did the disappearing act.
Oh, anybody
So
else have the toolbar issue? Oh my gosh.
I don't know why Zoom likes to do that sometimes. So I have no control over anything right now.
No control over
'Cause all I
anything.
see are beautiful faces this
Oh,
morning.
I'm so glad that our friends here in VIP and our friends there live are hanging in there with us, and we're gonna do this. We're gonna make this person co-host. Arissa, you should be able to help too. And then we're gonna go in here and we're gonna pin me. Perfect. Okay. Now, fantastic. That's great. Thank you very much. Okay. So we're gonna launch. First thing oh boy. Do you guys see that big thing in the middle or no? There we go. Okay, we're gonna launch. So we're gonna let people know we're gonna start writing this book. We're gonna start planning. We're gonna start the momentum. We're gonna reach out to clients. I'm not saying you have to do 100, but wouldn't it be awesome? And wouldn't it be worth your time if you reached out to 20 people or 30 people that were your ideal clients that would be impacted by the book and say, hey, I want to interview you for my book. I'm curious what would be interesting to you to know. Would that not make a better book? Uh-huh. Would that build relationships naturally? Uh-huh. Now I know there's people out there lying about it and they're using it as a marketing ploy. We are not doing that. That is not what I'm saying we're doing. We're being authentic about it, and it is absolutely fantastic, and it's cool. So we're launching. We build momentum right away with the launching. We start profiting. We are not waiting to profit. We are going to start profiting. How are we profiting? We have an offer. This is key, guys. I have a really hard time, and Ashley knows this. I have a really hard time helping people write books that don't have offers. And it doesn't mean you have to have an offer when you start working with us. We have different ways of helping people, but you are going to profit more from your book if you have an offer. And here's the thing, if you have an offer, you are going to help and serve at even a greater level, right? Somebody goes and reads a book. How many books have you bought and read and really done what they've said, right? Versus how many times have you sat with an advisor or a counselor or a realtor or whatever and worked with them, and then you do take action, right? You will have a greater impact the greater the contact. If you have an offer, you will have more impact. And so it could be something like a mastermind. It could be a movement. It could be financial advising. It could be real estate. It could be coaching. It could be consulting. So lots and lots of things, but we're going to connect it to an offer. How do we help and serve? I'm gonna get real, guys, because I know I can with you guys. Nobody like wants to hear our sad stories, right? Like most of us don't have that. What they really want to know is how can we impact their lives? How can we help them? And that's what our book is gonna do. That's what our offer is gonna do. So we're profiting right away. We're not sitting in some Hallmark movie writing our book, waiting for the world to happen to us. We are profiting right away. And in my experience, when I wrote my first book, I got even clearer on my niche and I got really good at my offer. And I will tell you, the process of writing my book gave me the awakening of doing fee-based planning. So I added, and if you're in financial, you know what that is. I added a whole nother arm to my business from what I learned. And it was huge for me. It's my favorite way to help people in that arm of the business. So profit, offer, that's what we're going to work on. And then we're going to write. So you can see we're gonna do all these things at the same time, right? All of them at the same time, but we're gonna launch and we're gonna feel good with that. And then we're gonna profit and we're gonna start working with our offer and we're gonna feel good with that. And then we're gonna start writing. And the writing really is not what you think it is. Like it is not hours and hours and hours and hours. It is absolutely just being strategic. I use a really good plan and an outline, and I schedule and I follow through with what I say I'm going to do. And so my original, when I wrote my first book, my schedule was every Saturday I would write. That's what I did every Saturday, one chapter a week every Saturday, and it worked. Right. And so the second book was a little different with my scheduling, but we can lay out a schedule that works for you. We lay out all the chapters. I have the honor, next week, I'm meeting with one of our authors and we're going to storyboard her story. She's like, I thought I had it, but I'm not sure. And I said, we're going to storyboard it. I'm a storyboarder. I love visual stuff. So let's get something out here. We're going to dump all the ideas out and together we're going to go through and we're going to write just ideas of chapters. That's all you need. That's all you need. We have an AI lab that you can use that will help you walk through the writing process. It's very helpful and I recommend using it. And so that's a step-by-step, point-by-point. We build a platform for you in AI and you go through and work with AI and it gets to know you and it gets to know your book and it helps you out. So that's the process. So Ashley, I'm going to hand it over to you.
Yeah, I was gonna say a couple of cool things to just kind of touch on those points is as we kind of do things backwards from every other publishing company, and that's what makes us us, and it makes the experience so much different for authors that have wrote books before as well. But along the way, you get to just celebrate everything. So like you launch and you say you're writing a book. How fun is that? Not only are you excited because you know you're doing this, but everyone else in your lives and the people that are following you on your socials, like they get to celebrate with you as you write the book. So along the way, you have cheerleaders instead of you sitting there and struggling to write a book, launch it, and then hope you have cheerleaders. You get cheerleaders
Right.
from the whole way. And then on top of that, you have Heather and I to bounce your ideas off of. If you get stuck on something, you don't have to wait for the next call you have with us. We're here to support you in every way that we can. So as we do things differently, we're also there and we're your team as you're writing this book. So just know that you're not going to be alone. You're not going to have to even get stuck really because we're just going to be there to help you. So yeah.
Yeah. All
Cool.
right.
Do we want to jump into doing some questions or do you have
Yeah.
anything else, Heather?
Yeah, let's do it. Let's see what questions are coming up
Perfect.
and
And I would normally share my screen, but since Zoom likes to hide my toolbar, I'm just gonna rattle off a question and then maybe we can round robin it, or if you guys are like, I need more time to think, it's just a question that you can either say your answer here or go spend your day thinking about these questions and kind of really get your brain going on, is this a good fit? Like, should I write a book? What should I write my book about? And the number one thing is, what's a story or a lesson or a piece of expertise that you have that you find yourself repeating over and over to people and that you find yourself explaining on your day to day, whether it be in your office or when someone asks you, what do you do? And you kind of dive into that. What are some of those things that you find yourself telling a lot of people all the time?
Ooh,
Does
that's
anyone
a great
have
question.
answers? Heather, do you have an
Mm,
answer either? Even
Um,
put you on the spot.
no, it's very good because it's been on my mind. So I think this is good. I obviously my other books were in the financial side and farm succession planning. So I was like, what's the next book, right? And there's been a few things I've been throwing around, and the thing I find that I explain a lot is um, the whole niching process, right? So uh, ideal client, niche, offer, marketing. And that's the base of my program, my coaching program. And so I think a book about that would be a great resource for people because they could read it, they could get the coaching, they could, reference it. The other nice thing is it can be turned into a course. So my book I just published, I turned that into a course last week and that's selling already. And I think you guys probably heard, but it felt like overnight success because it's like, it was so easy, but it wasn't. I mean, I've been working on it for, learning the skills for 12 years now and wrote the book, and that obviously took some time, and then we plug it into a course. And so, yeah, so I think that's one thing, just that process. Yeah. And that's
Yeah,
a great question because what things do you share over and over again? Because people need to know those things. Yeah.
right. Right. Yep. Anyone else have an answer? I won't put anyone else on the spot, but that's okay if you don't. Okay.
Tammy, do you want to share? How are you doing? Let us know. We're a small enough group here. You're
Well,
really
thank you.
financial, right? Like,
That's what I was just
yeah.
gonna say. My thing is, I don't know why I've always had it in my head I should write a book. Problem is I can't nail down to what because I have such a
Mm,
wide variety of unrelated careers. I'm a real estate agent. I ran a dairy farm most of my life, which was
yeah.
my actually biggest passion. I have a health and life insurance license that I'm not sure which way to go with because my original route is not working the way I wanted it to.
Yeah.
And for whatever reason, I've just always felt I have something to offer people, been through a lot, persevered, keep on doing it. And I just can't find the right avenue yet. And that's why this
hmm
intrigued me because it's just like, I think I need to hear this. And
Yeah.
maybe so.
Yeah. Well, there's a
Cool.
lot there for sure because I mean, the the path of the dairy farm has been something, right? Like, and just the impact on that on agriculture is unreal. And um, there's a business story there for sure.
Side,
What do you,
side note passion with that is that I'm bothered by all of what I see of how so many people, especially children in our country, truly have no idea what actual
yeah.
farming is all about and the facts behind
Mm-hmm.
it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, and
Yeah.
even, I mean, not anyone can be a farmer, let alone a dairy farmer. Like, you have to
Mm-hmm.
have a lot of grit and determination, and you gotta get up every day. Those
Mm-hmm.
cows, they gotta get milked, and it's the same time. And not a lot of people can do that. So that alone is huge that you guys have done that and operated with it. And then on top of that, you have other things that you're doing too. So you should applaud yourself on that because
Yeah.
not everyone in this country or anywhere can do that. So yeah,
Yeah.
cool.
Do you sell much real estate in agriculture, or would you want to? Is that?
I do not, and mostly because in our area here, there are the family farms are sadly going by the wayside. It's becoming just the bigger ones. And how I
Mm-hmm.
grew up was such a treasure, but banks don't want small farmers anymore as part of the
No.
problem. And, it just isn't sustainable, which is very sad to me. So yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and then just the real estate aspect of it saddens me that so much of our farmland is being sold for development. And
Yeah.
it's a rough thing for me to watch. I know everybody else sees the bigger picture of, we're making money, we're making things out of this. And I'm looking down the road at what happens when we no longer have that farmland available in this country.
Right. Oh, yeah. Yeah, for sure. Um, if, and you're not working in that industry, right? Like you're not working in agriculture, but your passion is absolutely there. I can tell,
Good.
right? And so,
That was always my biggest passion. That's what I
yeah,
miss the most. Yes.
you
Yep.
know, so I think it's like, it would be us spending a little bit of time and we'll book an appointment. You and I'll jump on the phone and what, what, let's lead with passion, right? And not, I don't want to lead with what we're necessarily doing today. Because, and for everybody, and I've got some posts coming out on it, even like we've all been in jobs that are like, this ain't where I want to be, right? Like, and not
Just
that we're going to
survival.
quit right. Like we want, so lead with passion and like, how can we connect that passion that you have for that and the knowledge to help and serve at a greater level. Like that's what our conversation will be. So that'll be fantastic. I'm excited to have that. And I know the dairy farm situation well. So that'll be cool. We'll do it for sure. Awesome. All right. Robin, are you on? I know you're busy. I don't know if you want to chime in and say hello.
I'm here.
Hey, how are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Good, good, good. Now what was the question?
The
What
question is, what do you find yourself repeating on a day-to-day basis, whether it be in your career or just everything that you find yourself having to tell people over and over again?
So I think that the way that I'm leaning in this thought process is more about working towards my niche. I know that
Mhm.
I talked to Heather about that, and
Yeah.
as far as working with people that are self-employed, independents, just because initially I came from the beauty industry, and so
Hmm.
just being able to guide them, not necessarily that that's a conversation that typically having every day, but since that's kind of the angle that I'm wanting to go towards, I think that that would be kind of the avenue I would go so where I could start developing that niche.
Yeah, I think that's great. And you can even think about where you want to be and build the book on that, right? So like, yeah, right now I'm not having that conversation every day, but if I had 10 appointments every week with my ideal client, I'd be having that conversation a lot, right? And then that's what can kind of go in the book. Yeah, that's fantastic. So and definitely an area of need for sure. So cool. Um, Arissa, I don't know, is there anybody on Facebook? Is there any comments on Facebook? People can comment on Facebook if this is showing up and you can ask questions there too. We got a little help today so we can figure it all out.
I haven't
Okay,
seen anyone.
okay, that's all right. Okay.
Yeah, and I'll do a one piggyback question to that one is, what do you think now that you're thinking about what you're telling people and it's sparking kind of what audience you're going after, what is your audience struggling with? Whether
Mm,
it be farming or just trying to like pinpoint your niche, like what in that niche are people struggling with that you could potentially help them?
all right. You want me to go first since I went first last time? All right. Um, I would say a coaching book on the 4 pillars on how to build a business. They're struggling with structure. Like if we can lean on structure, we can get through a lot. And I often say like you can't just not do it because you don't feel like it, right? Like that's just not an option, right? Like you have to do it, right? Like I don't care if you feel like it, you got to do it. Like and so if I have a structure and I know today I'm going to spend 1 hour a day on money making activity and reach out to my clients to see if they need help, then I'm going to do it because that's my structure. And whether it's a crazy day or not, I'm going to do that. And so I love the idea of being able to hand them a structure. And some of these books, this one, just an example, because I looked, he built this because he has a coaching business. It's called the Lion's Den. Love him or hate him, I don't know. But he wrote the book, and when you read it, like it's a structure in the whole book is on how to structure your day. That's all it is. That's what this whole book is. But the beginning plugs his coaching business because he was building his coaching business called the Lion's Den when he wrote it. And so that's interesting. It's super structure, and it was there to build his coaching business. So yeah, we never have to think of anything too original. We can just model what's working. So yeah.
Cool. Tammy, do you have an answer or?
Well, and I think problems facing people in anything I'm involved in is I'm going to be 56 soon. And having to do a new career later in life, even if it's something that just life brought you where you can't do what you used to do. So now you have to do something new. It's daunting. You don't know where to start, don't know what to do. Finances are an issue most of the time for people. So I see the problem. I just haven't developed the solution yet.
Yeah.
I've lived through it, but it's different. It's individual for everybody. So
Yeah, and yeah, and I love the fact that you brought that point up. And Ashley, I'm loving your questions. This is fantastic stuff. Because Tammy, like every day I talk to people that are like, it's halftime on life. And either they've been in a corporate job and they're like, I can't do this anymore. Like, I'm out of here. Like, I can't do it. They've kind of they've outpaced, they're at the top of the ladder. There's nothing else, right? And they're like, this ain't it. Or they get downsized. That's a biggie. I just talked to somebody yesterday. She's like, I'm getting downsized. I'm like, oh my gosh, and she's so smart and got so much going on, and she's older than us. And so she's like, I'm not ready to retire, right? And so every day, and we just gotta stand up and hold that banner, right? Hold that flag and go, because it is so very, very common. And while it looks like a burden, to me, it is so exciting, because it's like, we still have a long time to go yet, right? Like this ain't the end. This is the second half, and sometimes we call it our encore. And I've had the opportunity to do things at this age I wouldn't have been able to do when I was younger, because I had to make sure we had health insurance, and I needed to make sure I had some sort of regular revenue, right? And I couldn't take the risk at 40 that I can take it at 50 plus. And so, but I also know, and what I hear you saying is, like, give me some guarantees, right? Like, risk is fine, but I want to start having some guarantees, and I want things to start working, and I want some wins, guarantees and wins. And we do a lot of research when we build offers and we start projects, and a lot of comparing of what else is out there, and that makes a big difference. So, and we also never stop what we're doing. I shouldn't say never, rarely, or don't feel like we're going to stop what we're doing to do the next thing. We're gonna keep doing what we're doing full force, and we're just going to add this in, and it's going to be the fun thing, right? And so, I tell people that want to be consultants, super common. So they've been a financial CEO, CFO, whatever, in corporate, and they're like, I'm done. Like, I'm done. I'm done with all the software changes, everything else. I have no control. It's stressful. I'm good. And that skill set, like, you can go be a consultant tomorrow. I had somebody come into my program, my first group in my first huddle, which was last October, and she's like, I got to do something different. And she's like, I'm gonna be a financial consultant. She's brilliant. I outsourced some stuff to her. And she, within just like a short period of time, totally replaced her salary. And she's making way more and has more than she can take right now, because she had that skill set, right? And so it's like, we don't want to quit what we're doing before we start the next thing. So we just add it 10 hours a week. So, and what I'm thinking about too is, and then I'll stop talking. Tammy, is just that what I would be interested in researching is, like, what education opportunities are there out there for the farm, eating well, teaching kids what's in their food. And there's going to be grants for that. There's going to be companies that are going to have money available through grants. It doesn't even have to be a government grant. It could be a company grant. And so it's possible that we might be able to find some funds to help fund some stuff, which would be like super, super exciting. So anyways, all right.
The other thing I was gonna say too is, even if you don't have the answers or all the answers now, just by saying what you know, you could be helping someone that is a couple years behind you, or not quite sure even how you got to your point.
Yeah. All right. Arissa, you got something?
Yeah, excuse me. There was a question in the chat, and it is sorry,
Sure.
is it a contract with the publisher? Someone's wondering. Like, are you in a
Oh,
contract?
see, this is why we do these things. This is a very good.
Yes.
Can you take your hand down, Arissa? Is there a contract with the publisher? No. So there's two ways to get a book published. You can self-publish, or you can have a publisher. Literary agents or publishers, about, I said 3%, and I was corrected that number's too high. So I'm thinking it's about 1.5% of books actually get a literary agent. And then even people like Jenna Kutcher was a person that came out on it. I don't know if you follow her. They said, I'll never use one again. They're like, I lost total control of my book. I lost control of the offer with the book. They're like, I'm not going to do it. And so the literary agent or signing a publishing company, I don't want to say that's not going to happen for you, but that's not going to happen for you. And frankly, you don't want it to, because it's going to slow you down. The chances of being really successful are really, really, really low, and you can do better by yourself. I'm betting on you. I'm betting on you to be able to do it. And so what we do is we teach people how to self-publish their books. And we do have, there's a code you put on all the books, and we can put that code under our company, and you still have control of it, or you can go buy your own code, whatever you want to do. There's little intricacies of that, like that will get you through. But at the end of the day, you own the book, you publish the book, you have control of it. We just show you how. Yep. All right. And
The other thing too is literary agents, they take part of your profit when you get, and we don't
oh
do
yeah.
that. So every sale you get on your book is yours. We don't take any of that.
Yeah, we don't take profit. No, it's yours. Yours to go do whatever you want to with. Ashley handles all the Amazon stuff. So right now we're partnering with Amazon on the printing of it. I don't want to say publishing, but the printing of it, the release of it. That's quite a process. We are publishing with them, or launching, I guess, with them. And people think it's going to be so expensive. You can order books on demand. So my book, I keep mentioning my book. I feel like I have to show it. My book was, it was delayed by 3 weeks for printing because it got so far behind, but that was all right, right? Like I didn't have to go ahead and have a whole bunch of copies printed. So you just order it when you want it. Now I did order, quite a few the other day to make sure I had it, but you can do it that way, or you just use the link and people go in and order your book, and Amazon sends you 70% or 30%, depending on what contract you choose with them. And that's it. You have no overhead on any of that. There's no fee for that. There's no overhead for that with Amazon. And so we help you get all that set up, and figure all of that out and pick the right funding source for you. And then if you like, I got a bunch of these, and I'm going to go do book signings. I'm going to sell them direct. I take them when I speak. I give them away. Any book I sell, that's 100% profit to me. And this book only cost me like $2.50 to order. They don't charge me that much for the book because I'm the author. So there's other ways to get them printed. There's other ways you can put them on Etsy. You can put it on Etsy and Amazon. You can put it anywhere. You can get it printed anywhere. We've just found that Amazon's been the most, I don't know, friendly, I guess. I hesitate to say that because we've had a few unfriendly moments with them, but most friendly. So yeah. All right.
Perfect. Do we want any more questions? I got a couple more.
Do Robin or Tammy, do you guys have questions? I'm so excited. It's like the A-team showed up here today. It's a good time. You guys have questions? No.
I don't have any questions at this time.
All right. It's always good to have you, Robin. So, all right, cool. But yeah, ask us one more, Ashley. Why not? Let's
Okay,
roll.
let's see if I can get it out without Carter having a moment here. Maybe not.
I don't even notice him.
Here's the other thing. So your book is going to help create your legacy, and because the book's going to be around forever. So how does your book allow you to create your legacy, but outline that fundamental so other people can take it and help build their legacy? It's kind of a loaded question, but
Yeah, like how's it gonna, it's true. Like, oh, it's that Alex Hormozy that always talks about, we're gonna have a funeral and some people show up and some people won't, and a week later we're gone, right? And like that's his biggest battle in his mind. And I gotta tell you, I've not really ever battled that. What I battle is making sure that that I pass things on to my son in the way I'm called to. And I believe in the biblical way and what the Bible says, and I know I can say that in here. And so I believe I need to leave value for my son, and I believe that I need to leave finances for my son. And so that's what mine's all about. And it's probably this is like counseling in here. That's probably what led me to write this, because it's called The Bible, the Barn in the Back 40. And my son will be 5th generation farmer, if all goes as planned. And I think it seems to be going as planned. So, yeah, that's a big deal. And so that is a legacy. And then this is kind of cool too. And the book is in the lobby, but I wrote this book on farming, and my husband's, grandfather also wrote a book about the farmstead and the rodeo that he had there. So like, it's kind of cool to have the books next to each other. And if it wasn't books, there's nothing else you're going to put next to each other like that, right? Like, it's not like you're going to pull a blog off the internet and say, oh, look, we both wrote blogs. No, it doesn't work that way. But books stand the test of time. So yeah, good question. Anybody else brave to answer it?
I think just proving or leaving the idea behind that sometimes if you get from point A to point B, proving that a lot of times when you think you can't and you talk yourself out of things that you really can and anybody can, because it's all on you to put the effort into it, no matter
I love
how
that.
silly the idea sounds.
Yeah, it's like you climb the mountain because it's there, you run the marathon because you said you would. Yeah, I love it. I love that idea. It's true. And I've ran 2 marathons and writing the book was much easier, I'll tell you. Can you elaborate on offer? What do you mean by we need to have an offer first? No, fantastic question. I couldn't read the rest of your comment, but no apologies. I love these questions because we don't know what people think. Yes, and so an offer is a separate way outside of the book to make money. And so, Robin, you clearly have that. Because your book would be financial and you help people by providing financial support, services, investments, planning. And so that's yours is super easy. And that's probably why you're like, what do you mean an offer, right? And so your offer is what you show up with to help a person. And I love that question too, because when we've talked about offers, it's been broad and it's been a learning thing for me too, because when I was going, when I didn't just show up one day and knew how to write a book, right? I spent a year learning how to write a book and learning everything I could from a guru that does this. And so when I was in his group, everybody had an offer and they were kind of all over the board, but a lot of it was coaching, a lot of it was consulting. And it's Ashley, who's, I don't know if you've noticed, a little younger than me, she's challenged me to think outside the box. And it doesn't have to be that. Like, it could be a mastermind. It could be a movement like this book. Like, we have a book that somebody's thinking about sharing, and it would be such a movement. I get excited just thinking about it. Like, it could be something like a movement. But what's next? Like, it's the what's next thing. And so sometimes it's easy. It's real estate. You sell houses. The one person we're working with, one of them's coaching. That's easy. Financial advising. That's super easy. It's gonna build your clientele. It's gonna be written for your ideal clientele. Your business ideas is perfect. There's so much there. And I like books that are like kind of fun stuff too, and like business planning. People get excited about building businesses, so you can have all sorts of exciting stuff in there and resources, and yeah, so cool. All right. Anything else? No? Okay. Well, we will reach out to everybody and get appointments. I'm super excited to talk to both of you ladies, and anybody that's been on Zoom, we're gonna reach out, or Facebook will reach out to you too. We'd love to answer your questions. We love the fact that you ask questions because we don't know what you're thinking, right? Like, because I show up with my assumptions after doing this for so many years. And so it's really good if you ask me questions because I'm like, oh, then that's what they need to know. And so all questions are good questions. And even today, what you asked us was super. So looking forward to connecting. And Tammy, I'm looking forward to talking about your possibility with a book too. Like, that's cool. So getting people
Thank you.
connected with their passion, never too late for sure. So
Yeah.
cool.
Thanks
All
everyone
right.
for joining.
Yeah.
Thank you
All
for having
right.
us.
Sounds good. Take care. Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Bye.